Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing my testimonies with you guys as I recently just got back from doing a DTS in Texas and semi-back from Thailand. But yeah, I am outside in the beautiful weather today. So if you hear background noise, don't mind that. But yeah, I'm just gonna get started with it. Like I say, this is an unplanned video, so I don't know how long it's gonna be. I don't know where I'm going. I may be going off and on, so bear with me, as don't know how this video is gonna turn out. But yeah, so I'm gonna first talk about my time in Texas and being able to learn a lot more about the Lord and being able to seek Him and His true love and this stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna get into it. Anyway, so there's 2 weeks that I really impacted me. One of the weeks was Pure Heart, and then the other week would be, I'm pretty sure, is on forgiveness. It was a while back. I don't really remember what the weeks were called, but that's kind of like the topic on like what they were. So Pure Heart and Forgiveness weeks were good. The Forgiveness week, it just brought a lot of good things to me personally, and it brought a lot of memories back from my grandma, and I'll get into that here soon. But yeah, that week we kind of just learned, like, for me, what I took away was like the differences between trust and forgiveness, and so that kind of impacted me on the ways, because I've had some difficulty time in my life, and so actually kind of like in that week when we were talking about that, I had started remembering all of these emotions and memories that I had with my grandma. My grandma. She had passed away from cancer, and I don't know why these memories came back or like what they meant. But then my older brother Taylor really helped me and kind of made an eye-opening thing for me. And so as the days went by, I was just, before DTS, I would just be really sad and down and kind of like depressed, and sometimes like I wouldn't have much friends to like hang out with because I was homeschooled, but also like at my job, like it was so much fun getting to meet friends there, but like what I've learned in DTS is that that job wasn't really a great environment for me personally. But yeah, so after that, that whole week, I've just been remembering, like, just like the little things that I remembered with my grandma. I remembered going to Fred Meyer, having movie nights, her making good home-cooked meals was always the best, having sleepovers, going to Pelican Bay, which is a pool park. I don't know where it's at, but it's somewhere in Washington. But yeah, it was so much fun, and just like being able to hang out with her was just so much fun. And there was a day that I was kind of like really down because all these memories were coming up and I didn't know what was happening. So there was this one day that really hit, and I sat outside listening to sad music, or like a music that I made for my grandma. It was some happy music, some sad music, because I missed her. But after that, I looked to the left, no, across the street to the left, and I had seen a swing bench, and my grandma had a swing bench in her front yard, you would say. And so just by looking at that even brought more memories, because I used to sit on the swing with her and also just talk with her and have a fun time. And then after that, I looked down, there's flowers. Then it made me reminded me of she would water flowers outside when I was on the swing, and then I would go over and get off the swing and help her water the flowers, and it was just a joyful time, just hanging out with my grandma, just spending that quality time with her. And so that came back, and then somehow my grandpa always like threw pennies or like coins into like the gravel driveway, and me and my sister would always just like go and scavenger hunt for all the coins in the driveway. It was fun. But yeah, anyway, see, I'm kind of like not anyway, so that happened. And so after that, there was, I think it was Friday, I had like really like through those past days, I really thought, I'm like, why is this happening? And that Friday, Thursday, that we had a talk on how saying forgiveness and trust are two different things. I knew that, but like I didn't like really like actually figured that out for me personally. Like I would just like have a hard time and then just like go back and start listening to like not the greatest music and sad, depressing songs. And so after that, I had called my brother Taylor, and he had helped me a lot actually through this, and same with my sister-in-law, Emily. She had helped me a lot. They both were there for me. I was really grateful that I could just call them and they'd be there to support me and talk me through this. But what I remember vividly was I was in the room by myself, and I told my brother what was happening. I told him all the memories. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And I just started break down crying. And so after that, I had gone inside because I think it might have started raining or something, and no one was inside the room. And so I called my brother. He was still on the phone, and he told me to do an exercise with him. So I did an exercise with him, and he told me to close my eyes, because like even the one memory that was really sad and still gets me is that my grandma, the time of her passing, I remember all of that vividly. So I had remembered my grandma taking my mom, saying she took her last breath. I literally broke down crying, and she told me it's gonna be okay. She's up with Jesus now, and she won't be any more pain. And so, wow. And so, yeah. So for some reason my sister was downstairs, and so I wanted to go tell her, but there was this older lady going up the stairs, and I didn't want to wait for that. And so I went outside on like the back. If you knew what my grandparents' house looked like, you would kind of understand. But I went through like the back, and I ran, like there's like stairs, and like makes like a curve kind of, and I ran like inside the garage to go downstairs and tell my sister. In that time, as I'm doing this exercise, my brother told me to close my eyes and think on where the Lord is in that time. And I thought really hard, and I'm like, I've never had this happen to me. I've never had like visions or like clarity of knowing like what would happen in looking back in memories and stuff. But I could truly say that this is like the first time I really had clarity on knowing that actually in that time I was running from the Lord. So as my brother told me to do this, I closed my eyes, and I remember like just looking outside with her, saying I love her one last time, and then my mom saying she took her last breath. I went downstairs, I ran, like I said, I ran, and in like the corner of like the grassy area, as I was running past, for me, like in my mind and like my whole body, actually, like it kind of gives me chills now looking back at this. But in that time, I felt like I was running. He was staying here. I felt like I was running away from the Lord to go inside to tell my sister. And so at that time, I told my brother. He's like, "Do you see him?" I said, "Yes." He's like, "Where do you see him?" I said, "I see myself running away to go tell Maylin what had happened." And in that time, my brother, we just sat there in quiet for a few minutes. And in that time, my brother told me and said, the reason, what he thought was the reason all the memories and all of this stuff was popping back up in my head, and even like the time of her passing and all of that, he thought that maybe it was because on that week that we were learning about trust and forgiveness, he thought maybe I was remembering all that stuff because my grandma was the only one that I could trust, and that I could, and she was like the only one that was, for me personally, sorry family, I know some of y'all are probably watching this, but for me personally, I had a really strong connection with my grandma. She was amazing. She was a godly woman. You could just tell wherever she went, she was a godly lady, and she was always there to help you. She was always there to pick you up. She was always there to just be there and just shine the light of the joy of the Lord wherever she went. And so that like really touched me in a way. And so yeah, I sat there, as my brother said, maybe because she was the only one that you could trust and rely on and forgive, and she was a trustworthy person. And he's like, maybe that's why you're thinking about it, because she was the only one, and now since she's not here, you can't really like trust other people from your friends and family. And I just sat there and I just started crying, and I was like, wow, you really brought that up. I don't know why, but in that time, I'm sorry, in that time I sat there and I had like this weird gut feeling, and my brother like randomly asks me, him not knowing that I actually had this feeling, he asks me and says, "Hey, do you have like this weird feeling in your stomach, and like you feel like really," I don't know how the exact words he used, but like, "Do you have that weird feeling in your stomach?" I said yes. And he was like, "Haley, that's probably the Lord trying to talk to you and say something through you about this experience and time with the passing. And the reason why you probably are bringing all this up is because I was probably blaming the Lord for taking my grandma." And so that really got me when he said that. I just sat there and I'm like, wow, I never really thought about it that way, because like I do remember looking back as a kid, like I would always say, well, what happens if, because I would always see like people saying, oh, my grandma's like cancer free, my mom's cancer free, like everyone's like really good. And I'm like, only if we had like that like type of like, I would guess you could say more of an upgrade medical supplies that she didn't have. Only if she had that, like what happens if she'd be here with me today? Like I know she'd be so proud of me going to DTS, and following the steps with the Lord. And so, anyway, I'm getting off topic, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. Like I said, I'm sorry. I don't know how long this video is gonna go. I didn't really plan this. But yeah. So after that, I just hung up with them, and I looked in my Bible, and it was really good stuff. And I don't really remember, but I do remember in the particular. It was like something saying, hey, like the Lord will always chase after me and always come back after me. And I want to say that right now that is 100% true, because I don't know what I would be doing if I didn't do DTS and didn't get to learn and grow my faith with the Lord. I don't know what I'll be doing. I'll probably just be sitting in a room feeling sad and depressed, because after that day, in that same night, I had texted my one-on-one and I said, hey, is there such of a thing of listening to too much music? And she was like, I'm not sure, but for me, probably. And so after hearing that, I'm like, okay, I have a deal. I'm gonna give you my AirPods. So I gave her my AirPods, and I just went through the day without listening to music, and it was quite nice. And it was either during lunch or dinner. We had gone to a park, and I didn't have my AirPods, and so I went to go do some of my homework that I had to do for the school. And so I did that, and I went off, and I'm like, wow, this is really nice. Like right now, I get to hear the birds. I get to like see nature and like be able to like look around me, and like definitely like right now today, like this is God's like glory and love, just this beautiful place, and like the sun and just shining down. But like when I was at the park, I saw a whole bunch of different creature, God's I don't know, it wasn't animal creatures, I guess you could say. I saw ants, I saw spiders, I saw snakes, I think. I saw birds, I saw dogs, I saw ducks like on the water, and I got to I went down by the water and I heard like the waves, and it was so cool, and like just the wind and just all those different sounds that nature was making, and like all the birds and all of that. Like I never would have heard that if I hadn't given up my AirPods that day, and I did not know we would be going to the park. And so that must, for me, looking back, I'm thinking that was a God thing, because I know if I did give up my AirPods, if I didn't give up my AirPods, I don't know what I would have been doing in that moment. But like I feel like that was a God thing, saying somehow, because my friend came up and said, hey, let's go to a park. I said, okay. And so we did that. But what was really cool, I was down by the water, and like I said, I heard waves and all this stuff. And I looked to the left of me when I was sitting on a rock. I looked to the left of me, and I see this big bush. It was like all knotted up. You kind of had to be there to kind of know what I'm talking about. But if you imagine like a bush with like nothing on it, it was just like twigs of like the bush like all raveled up and stuff. And like on like the end of it, it's all raveled up, and at the end of it there's like this white piece of paper that I saw, and for me that represented the Lord, because it was white piece of paper, and I'm like, white, and my mind was just sitting there and thinking. And while I was all the way over here on this rock looking at like this bush, the bush represented my life with all the hard times, the sadness, the depression, and the just like the hard times. And then like that paper represented the Lord, you know. I was sitting over there, I'm like thinking, wow, in order for me to seek the Lord more, I have to go through that bush and go through all the hard times and all the sadness and all the pain and hurt to actually get to the Lord. And in that moment, and I was thinking back, because like it was like the Sunday before we were going into that week of forgiveness and trust. I had talked to my brother previously saying, hey, I don't really remember how this came up, but like I was saying, when I got baptized when I was like, what was it, maybe 9 or 8 years old? I don't know. I was little, that's all I know. And so when I got baptized at a young age, I was thinking, I was like, hey, I don't think I really got baptized for the Lord. I got baptized because my family I have to be careful what I say, they're probably watching this, but like, I got baptized for the people around me. I got baptized because my brothers were doing it and I thought it was cool. Like I said, I was young, I didn't know what I was doing. And so when I was at the park looking at that bush, I'm like, I really want to move forward with my life. I don't want to be going backwards in life, because that's how I got on the rock, first of all, was moving backwards out of that bush to get away from pain, get away from stress, and get away from all the hurt. I'm sorry, that's like the AC. I wasn't planning on that to be on. But I'll talk a little bit louder. And so after that, I walked back to the car we had left, and I saw more bugs and creatures and birds, and I saw the sky. And so after that, I had really thought, and like my mind kept thinking back, saying baptism. I'm like, what? I don't know what that means. And then I'm like, if I want to move forward with my life, I want to take that next step on getting baptized, proclaiming my life and my time and getting baptized to go forward in life, to be able to share others about my testimonies, and also just be able to proclaim to the people around me. At that time, it was DTS. For the people around me at the DTS, and being able to show them that I want to take that next step, that I want to do this and that. And so I decided on getting baptized. There was 2 other people that got baptized too that day, and it was funny because I'll probably remember this. I'm not joking. Baptism was on April 1st. So I got baptized and renewed my life to the Lord April 1st, 2024. And yes, it was 2024. I'm sorry, just coming back from like time change and all of that, I'm still a little bit messed up, but yeah. So yeah, I got baptized, renewed my life, and gave my life to the Lord, and proclaimed to my friends, and also, I guess you could say, my family, because I did post it on my social media. So I did technically tell my family that I am getting baptized, and so I was like, cool, I'm gonna wait for that car to go by. Anyway, and so I was like, cool, like, I felt lighter in the moment when I was getting baptized, and when I went under, like when I was looking at the water, it was all dark and stuff, but when I went under, it was dark, and then like when I rose, I'm like, it was light, like you're rising out of the water, being renewed, and it was cool, just for that. This is already kind of a bit long, but I'm gonna kind of get into my outreach phase. That was my my DTS phase? My lecture phase. That's the word, my lecture phase. Yeah, that was my lecture phase. Coming to know the Lord more, being present in His world, being able to live without music. And so now I listen to less music. Even though I want to listen to music, I listen to less music. I seek the Lord more. And so just from all the memories with my grandma and all the hurt and pain had actually brought me closer to the Lord. And I would have, looking back now, I would have never thought about that, because like right now I'm like, wow, that is truly a God thing. Looking back at all the pain, all of the sadness, all of like the hardness in my life, having a broken heart and going to GTS to fix my heart led me closer to the Lord. And so that was kind of my lecture phase on that. And my outreach phase would definitely be impactful, not only for me, but also for my team. It was great getting to go into like the kids ministries, and I don't really remember. There was Whispering Willow, which was like a red light trafficking ministry that we helped out with. But yeah, for me, I was mostly with like the kids and stuff, and so it was cool for me. The first 2 weeks, me and some of the team did tossing, which was a kids ministry, and I'm sorry, I hope you guys can hear me. I can't really tell if you can hear me or not, but me and 5 others of my team, counting me, so 5 people in our group did tossing first, and then 6, 7 people did Whispering Willow, and then we went to Fong like the 3rd week, and then we swapped. So I went to Whispering Willow, and then they went to tossing. But when my time at tossing, I could definitely see God moving in that time, not only in us as a team, but also us getting able to share our testimony. So some of the 3 of our people shared their testimonies with the students there, which was really nice, and so I really enjoyed that. But yeah, we would always show up, play games. We did we did one English class. We did bananagrams with them, which was fun. We got to hear them sing in Thai, which was really cool, because I've never heard people sing in Thai. Thank you. It's off. But yeah, it was cool. We got to hear them sing in Thai, and also sometimes you kind of not overhear, but like hear them talk in Thai, so that was kind of cool to try and see what they said. I don't know. You don't really know what they said, but in that time, my favorite part would be the first week on a Friday. So Friday we and the top games that they loved doing, which was so much fun. Some people hate it. It's a hit or miss game. It was Ninja and the Human Knot they liked doing. That was kind of like the Whispering Willow team. They liked, when we swapped, they liked doing Ninja, and it was so much fun. But yeah, but it was cool just to like see. Oh, we also did crafts with them. But anyway, it was cool to see them like go in, have fun, have a smile on their face, and like just be joyful. And it was cool to like, when we were playing the games and doing all of that, it was cool just to see, like, I don't know what you would say, my mind's not working. It was cool just to see them like become closer in friends, I guess you could say, and be able to figure out the new games that we taught them and figure out like the differences. And so anyway, back to Friday. The morning we went to the kids' families' houses, and we split up for that. It was me, one other person, and then our outreach leader that went in a group, and then two other people. It might have been 3 other people. I don't know. I don't really remember. But yeah, we went to the houses and it was cool. This was my testimony from outreach. It was cool. We went to each different houses. It was cool to see like how they lived, and it kind of made me sad in a way, because some people don't have much over there. They didn't have AC, air conditioning, or like really good houses. Like here we have good houses. Over there they would just have like wood that was like structured as a house, and then there's like, I mean, it was a house, don't get me wrong, it was a house, but like it wasn't like what we have here in the US. But it was a joy for me, at least, to be able to be the hands and feet of the, I don't know how you'd say this, be the hands and feet of the Lord, for the Lord. It was cool to be the hands and feet for the Lord, to take time out of our day and take food over to each people's houses, and be able just to like sit and hear their story and hear conversation. And so in that time we actually went to like 3, 4, might have been 4 or 5 different houses that we went to. And so in that time there was this one particular house that kind of got me in a way. So we were walking, and I'm like, oh wow, we're going to another house, yay, we get to give more food to people that need it. And so when we were walking to a house, we showed up like by the water, and I'm like, hello. I didn't know that I didn't know what type of houses they had in Thailand, or like I didn't know there would be houses on water, but this house was on water. And it was really cool just to see how the grandparents opened up their home to us. They welcomed us. They brought us all the chairs that they could find. They turned on the fans and pointed it at me and my team that went. They got to like share stories and stuff, and we got to chat with them for a little bit, and it was really cool to hand them the food, because not only that they need it or want it, but also like it was cool to like hear their stories, and it was cool to like the food that we were handing out to people. Maybe it is a blessing for them, because one, they won't have to be paying that week, or I don't really remember how much food it was, but they won't have to be paying that week or weeks of food to go get, and they don't have to like leave their house to go wherever or how far the grocery store is from their house. So it was cool just to be able to give them the food, talk with them, see I guess you could say what really was like a woe for me was these people, not only in this family, but all the families that we saw. These people have like not that much, and even though they don't have that much, they are willing on giving us so much. Like for me and like the 2 other people that was in my group, I know it would have been fine just to stand, but like each of the houses, like they would bring us seats, like I said, fans and point all that. But the time that we were handing out food, it was like the hottest, I believe the hottest time, and so it was more expensive for the electricity bill, and so they kind of keep off the AC, so they wouldn't, or some places wouldn't have AC, but they would have fans, but it's just hot heat. But yeah, so it was kind of cool seeing all of that combined. And also I loved how the grandparents were like really like, yeah, it was just really cool to talk with them. But what was really interesting, Friday, so we did that like Friday morning through like the afternoonish. What was really cool though was Friday night, the tossing group has a youth group, and we got to meet like different people that doesn't usually go to the tossing like organization because they're working or doing this and other stuff. But like what I mean by that is like it would be like the older kids for a youth group, and so in that time we had met this for me right now, it's one of my best friends that I've stayed connected with in Thailand, actually. Her name's On, and yeah, we've met her there at Ta Sang. It was cool just to hear her stories, and it was cool to see what the Lord is doing, not only in her life, but also like in her family's life, and seeing like the like differences, and like it was just cool to see what the Lord's doing in Thailand, and being able to share the gospel even more. Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of most of it. But yeah, it was really great meeting everyone in Thailand. I really want to travel back to Thailand and be able to reconnect with those friendships that I've made, and I plan on doing that. Don't know when, but I know that I want to do it, and I know in the right timing the Lord will give me an opportunity to go back to Thailand and travel. I'm so sorry. And actually when we went back to Chiang Mai, the last 4 or 3 nights, it might have been 4 nights, I don't really remember. It was really nice because for me, I'm usually the person that would always invite people over, have a great time, and just like build that friendship and community, and be able to gain a relationship with others. And that's what I did with one of the girls. I loved meeting up with her in Chiang Mai, and she was so much fun to see again because she lives like an hour or so away from Chiang Mai, and so it was cool just to be able to connect like on the phone and say, hey, you can come over and hang out. And it was just cool to like see how the Lord like had placed her to go in Chiang Mai around that timing. Same with my other friend. It was cool because it was nice, and I loved hanging out with her. We would play games for the last 4 nights in a row. We would just, for me, I don't know what she felt, but for me personally, I felt like I was going each and every night. I felt like I was going a better relationship with her, and being able to like hear each other's stories, and also play games, just being able to connect and have that time. And what I really appreciated from her was that she would take her time of the night, even though she was tired. She had to work all day. She probably had something else going on. She would take her time out of her schedule and out of the day to come over and hang out with me and one of my other friends that we hung out at the hotel. And it was just really cool to see how not only she would take her time out of the day, but also how she would, I don't know how far away it was from her apartment, but it was cool to see like how she would just be willing to drive that far or that much from her house to the hotel. And it was cool just to, like I said, I know a lot of my team would probably agree with me. They made a lot of good friendships and gained a lot of friends, and it was cool just to see all of this happen, not by us, but by the Lord. It was cool to see how he each picked each of us and me to go to Texas, and then it was cool to see how that all worked out in that phase, we learning more. It was also cool to see how he put Thailand for our team, because I really truly feel like that was a place that our team needed to be at and needed to share the word of the Lord with others, and being able to just not open up about our testimonies, but also being able to share about God and be able to share the love of him. So yeah, those were my testimonies of Texas and Thailand. I hope they made sense. Like I said, this video was kind of unplanned. Wasn't planning on, didn't have it like scripted or like memorized on what I wanted to say. And so, sorry if this is long for you, and I'm sorry if it didn't make sense. If not, if you know me, call me up. I would love to share my testimony with you again. But yeah, I'm gonna get going. It's getting a little bit hotter out here. And I'm gonna go chill, get some lunch, have a good day. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. Sorry that it's so long, like I said. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my testimonies. I really wanted not only to share it with you guys, but also to like, for my family and friends that like are long distance from me, or like not much around that live like in different states. I wanted to be able to also keep this on video so I can look back in life and maybe one day like say, wow, that's my God. He showed me a way. He rescued me from like my hardest times. He saved me. All I want to say as I close this is that no matter of a hard time you're going through, he got you. He loves you. He's always there for you. Has a never-ending love for you. So whenever you're in a hard time, feeling down, stressed, or like just has a lot, you just have like a lot on your mind, all I would say, open up your Bible, pray, and just seek the Lord in those difficult times. I know for me, I definitely did that when I was in Texas, and moving forward, I'll continue doing that. And it's definitely helped me in multiple ways and stuff. And so all I want to say is that, 1, thank you for watching this long video. 2, thank you for hearing me and taking your time out of your day to watch this long video. 3, God loves you. He got you. And if you seek him more and more every day, you're gain a better relationship with him and be able to connect in a way you haven't connected with him before. And I know I've definitely felt that in my life. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a good day, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next vlog that I make here. I don't know what my next vlog would be, but I will probably post something around out here and there. But yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, bye guys.